everyone, it's Fitting Dragon. Today will be quite a short currently ink because I only have 4 pens inks. So this is the last of that special relating theme that I'm making. As I bought these 4 bottles from Shanghai Stationary during that pen show, and I wanted to ink all of them all at once and show you what I have bought. Let's get to it. The first pen and ink combination that I have here is Shanghai Stationary Lotus of the Silver Moon, and I fill it inside my Pilot Custom Heritage 91 orange with medium 14 karat gold nib. This ink is so adorable. It's a very light pink, which is leaning more on the bluish side or colder side. The fact that this ink is very light makes it quite tricky to write with. What I mean by that is that it is in the middle of being legible and illegible. And for some papers that I use this combination on, sometimes the ink pulls on the downstrokes because I usually use non-cursive writing. On the upper side, it's very light, so sometimes I use cursive writing just because I want my reader in letters to be able to read what I write. And that is quite let's say an interesting experience for me because I rarely write in cursive, and thus it is like forcing myself to write neatly and slowly and carefully, and I don't hate it. Especially since right now in the Netherlands Pen Club we are doing a challenge of writing with the non-dominant hand. We post each other's writings every day, and I found out that because I'm a right-handed and when I write with my left, it is easier to write something decent in cursive rather than individual letters like how I write it here. And as typical of Shanghai Stationary inks, sometimes with their inks I feel like they're quite watery, but not in the sense of when writing with it, but more like after I write it down, and then on some papers who are not really fountain pen friendly, I can usually see some slight feathering. Now, out of these 4 inks that I have inked right now, only 2 ink do that and the other 2 are safe. As mentioned before, Shanghai Stationary Lotus of the Silver Moon is a cute pink color on the colder side. And out of the ink swatches here, I think the closest would be Ferris Wheel Press Queen Allium in peach color. Although Queen Allium is more on the purpley side, while Rose Quartz is also quite close, not so much. It's a Rose Quartz looks a bit more yellower, while Lotus of the Silver Moon looks to be bluer. This is one of the longest name ink that I have for Shanghai Stationary. The second one is Shanghai Stationary Fairy Dress, and I fill it inside my BENU Talisman Peacock ore with medium Smith nib. At first, I was quite hesitant to buy this fairy dress because, well, I like how the ink looks on swatches. Knowing myself, I usually prefer a colder purple, so purple that are leaning more on the bluish side. Thus, when I have this ink and when I write with this, I still have mixed feelings about this color myself. This ink is one of the one that behaves quite okay on multiple paper. So at least on the papers that I'm using, I don't see any feathering and it behaves pretty well. I'm quite hesitant as well to put this ink inside my BENU Talisman because on the previous filling on this pen, I fill it with the Pen BPS shimmer ink, which didn't go very well with the inking. And thus, even though this is a regular standard ink, because there was some shimmer left in the pen, then my writing looks as if it is a shimmer ink, but it's just a standard ink. Looking at the swatch cards side by side, Shanghai Stationary Fairy Dress is like in the middle of Diamond Damson and Ackerman Leaven's Cardinal Pars. It's a purple that is warm. so it's leaning a bit on the reddish side. The third pen and ink combination is Shanghai Stationary Guizu, and I feel it inside my Majohn A1 Fishscale with Pilot Medium 18 karat gold nib in it. It is a pleasant writing experience. As I mentioned before, I prefer this bluish purple more. So when I pick up this pen, then I smile while using it. I kind of rarely inking this Majohn A1 Fishscale because while I'm okay with the grip section, somehow I don't really have that much use with clicky pen. And I always get reminded how nice this combination is whenever I ink it. With this ink, I know that it fits this BENU Talisman better, but because I wanted to ink both of them, and with the Majohn A1, it is best if I put a darker color with it so that I don't see the darker color when it evaporates, because the seal is not really that good. So that's why I put this Guizu inside the Majohn. Although you may already be able to see it here, this is a Yusari paper, which is basically quite a fountain pen friendly paper, and usually when I drop a big blob of ink on it, then it's safe. But here you can see a little bit of feathering with the ink when the ink and paper meets. So yeah, with this ink, I think the best paper would be the Tomori River paper. Shanghai Stationary Guizu is quite dark purple. It is similar in color family with Bennonia di Hanilila and Tachia Nakamurasaki. Although out of all this, I think the closest would be the Nakamurasaki, although Guizu is much more saturated. And the last, and the one that I am most excited about, I have Shanghai Stationary Broken Bridge here, and I feel it inside my Opus 88 chest with Chen Big Point nib. Big Point is one of my most fun nib that I got from Stilo Estile. On regular side, it is a fine nib, and on the reverse side, it is similar to Fude nib, so I can make a very thick lines on the reverse side. And the reason why I'm excited about Broken Bridge is because the color of the ink is blue, but there are some yellowish tint that goes with it, especially when I put a lot of ink on paper. So this is so fun to write with, and I keep picking up this pen and ink combination whenever I need to write something. But somehow I observed something funny going on with this ink. So as you can see here on my swatch card, when I do this blob of ink, usually I put a drop of ink using a pipette, and then I use the cap file of the ink sample and swirl it around. And somehow with this ink, it seems like I wounded the paper somehow, so that there are these ugly brown spots on the paper, which I really don't like on the swatch card that I'm considering redoing it. So I don't know what is really going on in here. It is also looking the same with the swatches, so let me show you a bit here. It's like there are also some brownish spots on this swatch, so I don't really know what's really happening in there, and I suspect it is more about the combination of the ink meeting the paper and if there are some rubbing happening, which is so weird. But other than that, I don't see any feathering on this ink, so it is one of the ink that is behaving okay in other paper. Plus the nib that I use is fun. So yeah, as mentioned before, out of these 4 inks, the Lotus of the Silver Moon and Guizu were the 2 that feathers a bit on different paper, while Shanghai Stationary, Fairy Dress, and Broken Bridge were the 2 that are safe, at least the ones that I have inked right now. As for color comparison, Shanghai Stationary Broken Bridge is very close to Color for Serenity. So both of them have the bluish with the tint of yellowish in it, although Broken Bridge is just slightly more saturated compared to Color for Serenity. Although in writing, I don't think you can spot any differences between the two. So if you would like something more fun with chromo shadingness, then you can choose Shanghai Stationary Broken Bridge. But if you want something that is quite easy to find, then you can just go to Color for Serenity. So yeah, this is all that I have inked right now. What do you think? And if you had tried Shanghai Stationary inks before, which one is your favorite? See you on the next one. Bye bye!